water was flowing upward, not downhill, not following gravity the way every canal ever officially credited to human engineering follows gravity, upward, through channels cut into the substrate beneath Amsterdam's canal system with a precision no documented Dutch construction tradition ever achieved, channels oriented against the natural water table, rising through sealed passages, terminating in pressure chambers whose internal configuration makes no sense for any purpose recognized in the hydraulic engineering of any documented era. The 19th century dredging teams found these channels when Amsterdam's canal maintenance program sent workers deep enough to break through the original construction layer into what was beneath it. The internal survey notes call what they found, in the language engineers use when the classification system has nothing that fits, pre-existing infrastructure, unexpected depth, function unknown. I have read those notes against the official record of what the Amsterdam modernization program was supposed to find. The official record describes silt. Medieval drainage remnants, foundation material from the Golden Age canal construction, the routine subsurface archaeology of a city built on water. The internal notes describe a hydraulic network that predates every civilization officially credited with occupying this territory. A pressurized water system whose engineering implies capabilities that the Mudflood reset buried here long before Amsterdam existed. Tartarian infrastructure, the same category of discovery this channel has documented, under Chicago, under Seattle, under San Francisco Bay, under New York, exposed briefly by a maintenance program that went deeper than anyone intended, and sealed again, within weeks of exposure, by decisions that followed the same priority pattern. This channel has documented at every comparable site the most sophisticated evidence buried fastest. Amsterdam's canal system is one of the most extensively documented engineering achievements in European history. Constructed primarily during the 17th century Golden Age, the concentric ring of waterways that defines the city's layout is the product of sophisticated hydraulic planning, a genuine engineering achievement of the period officially credited with building it, which makes the anomalies found beneath it significant in a specific way. The 19th century modernization program required dredging the existing canals for deeper commercial vessels. Standard maintenance work, workers draining sections for inspection, clearing accumulated silt, reinforcing the canal walls where centuries of use had degraded the original construction. To assess structural integrity properly, the engineering teams needed to examine the canal foundations at depth, which meant going below the Golden Age construction layer into whatever lay beneath. The official explanation for what they found there has been consistent. Medieval drainage remnants, abandoned foundation work from earlier settlement phases, the geological baseline that the Golden Age builders had constructed above. I read that explanation against the internal survey photographs and the working notes that circulated between dredging supervisors before the formal reports were compiled. The photographs do not show medieval drainage, they show a hydraulic network whose construction precision, whose channel geometry, whose pressure-rated components, and whose directional orientation against the water table place it outside every documented engineering tradition in European history before the industrial era, a network that the Golden Age canal builders did not construct, a network that the Golden Age canal builders built on top of. The coordination across construction layers is the first detail that ends the conventional explanation. When a city accumulates hydraulic infrastructure across centuries of independent construction, different builders, different periods, different engineering traditions, the subsurface record reflects that independence, different channel orientations, different construction standards, the accumulated inconsistency of decisions made by separate parties without reference to one another. The infrastructure beneath Amsterdam's canal system is not inconsistent. Across dredging sections separated by the full width of the canal network sections attributed to different construction periods, built by different workers, serving different documented purposes, the deeper channels follow the same geometric grid, the same flow directions, the same hydraulic principles governing channel cross-section and gradient. Different centuries do not build in hydraulic harmony with one another unless every subsequent generation is connecting to a pre-existing system rather than building independently. The survey notes make this explicit. The deeper channels were not parallel to the Golden Age construction above them, they were connected to it, integrated, as if the 17th century builders had found the deeper network and routed their own construction to interface with it. Not building a new system, inheriting an existing one, and extending it upward in ways that preserved its geometry without understanding its original purpose. The coordination is not between construction periods, it is between every construction period and the single original source they all connected to. Before I show you what the channels themselves contain, the pressure chambers, the metal-embedded walls, the upward-flowing passages that make the function of this system impossible to explain within any conventional hydraulic framework, I need you to understand that the coordination alone already proves the conventional explanation false. Because hydraulic harmony across centuries of supposedly independent construction has only one explanation, one original design, still in the ground, still being built above. Beat 1. The channel geometry. Every hydraulic system designed for gravity-fed water movement follows basic physical principles. Water flows downhill. Channels are graded to facilitate that movement. The slope, the cross-section, the junction geometry, all of it serves the fundamental requirement that water moves from higher elevation to lower. The channels found beneath Amsterdam's canal system in the deeper excavation layers are not all graded for downhill flow. Some are oriented against the natural water table, rising through sealed passage systems, connecting to chambers positioned at elevations that gravity-fed hydraulics cannot reach without pressurization. The engineering teams noted this with the specific language of people describing something that contradicts their professional training. The channels go the wrong direction, not as a defect, not as a construction error, as a design feature, precisely maintained across the channel's length, connecting deliberately to the pressure chambers above. This is not drainage infrastructure. Drainage infrastructure follows gravity. This infrastructure works against gravity, which means it was designed for a pressurized system, water moved by force rather than elevation, whose energy source the excavation teams could not locate, and whose purpose they could not identify. Beat 2. The metal embedded in the channel walls. Standard hydraulic construction embeds metal as reinforcement added to existing stone, to extend its service life, retrofitted when the original material degrades. The physical signature of retrofitted metal is visible in the installation pattern, added to the surface, inserted into cuts made after the original construction. The metal found in the deepest Amsterdam channel walls does not have that signature. It is integrated into the original construction, cast into position, incorporated as though the channels were designed around the metal framework rather than reinforced with it after the fact. That integration requires a construction sequence where metal and stone are worked simultaneously, where the metal is placed and the stone is formed around it in a single operation. The metallurgical capability required for that process, the temperature control, the casting precision, the knowledge of how metal and stone interact under hydraulic stress, is not documented in Dutch construction history at any period before modern industrial manufacturing. It is documented in one other context. Every comparable site this channel has investigated, every Tartarian infrastructure discovery that has been briefly exposed and rapidly reburied, the same integrated metal and stone construction signature appears under Chicago, under Jacksonville, under every location where the mudflood burial layer has been cut through deeply enough to reach the original Old World construction beneath. Stay with me now, because what I am about to describe is the detail that makes the energy transmission theory impossible to dismiss. Beat 3. The pressure chambers. Distributed throughout the deeper channel network at intervals that imply systematic placement rather than incidental occurrence, the survey teams found enclosed chambers, larger than the channels connecting to them, sealed against the surrounding substrate, internally configured with baffles and flow control surfaces whose geometry implies pressure management rather than simple containment. Workers who entered these chambers described them in private correspondence with the specific language of people recognizing function without having a name for it. Not storage, not systems. Something designed to hold water under pressure and regulate its distribution through the channel network connected to them. Surge tanks, pressure regulators. The components of a system moving water by force through a network that includes upward flowing passages and integrated metal frameworks and channel geometry, precise enough that 19th century hydraulic engineers could not determine what tools produced it. A pressurized hydraulic network, under Amsterdam, predating every construction period the city officially acknowledges, using water as a transmission medium not for transport, not for drainage, but for the distribution of pressurized force to destinations the excavation teams could not trace, because the network extended beyond every dredging boundary they established. This is Tartarian hydraulic infrastructure. The same civilization whose free energy systems appear under San Francisco Bay, whose acoustic network we documented in the Paris Towers, whose street grid underlies Seattle, that civilization built a pressurized water distribution network beneath Amsterdam. And the Golden Age builders, finding those channels when they began their own construction, incorporated them into the canal system above without understanding what they were connecting to. Subscribe to Echoes of America now. Turn on notifications. The Amsterdam hydraulic network is one node of the same planetary infrastructure this channel has been documenting across every investigation. The sequence of what was sealed first follows the same pattern documented at every Tartarian discovery site on this channel. The channels with the tightest construction tolerances closed first. The pressure chambers with the most complete internal configuration backfilled before they were fully measured. The upward flowing passage sections filled with sediment within days of exposure, noted in the records without technical description, and then not mentioned again. The deteriorated sections, the channels that match documented Golden Age construction standards, the infrastructure that fit comfortably within the conventional narrative of Amsterdam's hydraulic history, these were documented thoroughly, referenced in formal reports with specific location data, most functional sealed fastest, most conventional preserved longest, 3 separate dredging teams working 3 separate sections of the canal network, no formal coordination mechanism between them beyond the standard municipal oversight of the modernization program, all 3 making the same choices in the same order. That uniformity requires either an explicit instruction, someone in the project management structure communicating which discoveries required immediate reburial, or an institutional understanding so widely shared across the project that separate teams arrived at the same priority sequence independently. The records do not contain an explicit instruction. What they contain is the result of one. Specific categories of discovery consistently managed in a specific direction across teams with no formal contact about what they were finding. The most advanced hydraulic infrastructure ever found beneath a European city, resealed within weeks of its discovery, by workers following an unwritten understanding that certain things the ground contained were not for the official record. Amsterdam's canals are one of the most visited engineering achievements in the world. Tourists walk the canal rings, take boat tours through the waterways, photograph the facades of buildings whose foundations descend into water that has been flowing through the same channels for centuries. The canals feel ancient, they feel permanent. They feel like the ground truth of what this city is. They are the upper layer. Below the canal floors, below the 17th century construction, below the medieval foundations, in the substrate that the 19th century dredging teams broke through before sealing it back into the ground, the pressurized network is still there. The upward flowing channels are still oriented against the water table. The pressure chambers are still present in the substrate. The metal integrated into the original stone construction is still in the walls. The canal water that flows above it follows gravity as Golden Age engineering designed it to. The water in the network below follows something else: pressure, force. The energy of a system whose source the dredging teams could not locate and whose purpose they could not name because the civilization that designed it, that understood what pressurized water flowing upward through a distribution network beneath the city was for, that civilization was gone before Amsterdam existed. It built here. It was buried here. The city was built above the burial, and for a brief period in the 19th century, workers draining sections for routine maintenance broke through far enough to see what the burial had preserved. Then they filled it back in. The canal tours still run. The tourists still photograph the same waterways. Nobody on those boats is told that the floor beneath the water they are floating on covers a hydraulic network that does not follow the rules of any hydraulic engineering officially credited to this location. Amsterdam's canals are one of the most visited engineering achievements in the world. Tourists walk the canal rings, take boat tours through the waterways, photograph the facades of buildings whose foundations descend into water that has been flowing through the same channels for centuries. The canals feel ancient, they feel permanent. They feel like the ground truth of what this city is. They are the upper layer. Below the canal floors, below the 17th century construction, below the medieval foundations, in the substrate that the 19th century dredging teams broke through before sealing it back into the ground, the pressurized network is still there. The upward flowing channels are still oriented against the water table. The pressure chambers are still present in the substrate. The metal integrated into the original stone construction is still in the walls. The canal water that flows above it follows gravity as Golden Age engineering designed it to. The water in the network below follows something else: pressure, force. The energy of a system whose source the dredging teams could not locate and whose purpose they could not name because the civilization that designed it, that understood what pressurized water flowing upward through a distribution network beneath the city was for, that civilization was gone before Amsterdam existed. It built here. It was buried here. The city was built above the burial, and for a brief period in the 19th century, workers draining sections for routine maintenance broke through far enough to see what the burial had preserved. Then they filled it back in. The canal tours still run. The tourists still photograph the same waterways. Nobody on those boats is told that the floor beneath the water they are floating on covers a hydraulic network that does not follow the rules of any hydraulic engineering officially credited to this location. The water above flows with gravity, the water below flows against it, and the system that made that possible is still in the ground, waiting for someone to drain it deeply enough to ask what it was for. Leave one word in the comments, the word that comes to mind when you realize the most famous canals in the world are floating above a pressurized water network that nobody has officially explained.